So let's talk Stetson Bennett, the quarterback drafted by the Rams in the fourth round. This last draft that we just had a few days ago. I mean, it was a fun draft. I think the Rams definitely had a good draft, but one of the players, as I just said, that they drafted in the fourth round was quarterback Stetson Bennett out of Georgia. This guy obviously won back-to-back national championships, which was very impressive. And a lot of people, especially me, like to kind of credit that to how talented of a team Georgia had. So we're going to get into some of his weaknesses and strengths in this video. And also, the first thing we're going to start off with is how Stetson Bennett, the quarterback out of Georgia that the Rams drafted in the fourth round, how he can start week one for your Los Angeles Rams. I'm obviously a Niners fan, but I do like to cover all things NFL. And this is kind of one of those things that was on my mind and should be on even the 49ers fans' mind, because this could mean a lot for 49ers fans if Stetson Bennett starts. So let's get right into it, everyone. Again, this has been, let me see here. My mic was wobbling back and forth. It was a popsicle stick. Anyways, but let's get right into it. So Stetson Bennett obviously won back-to-back national championships. And let's start off with kind of Matthew Stafford and this aspect of how the 49ers could and really how the Rams might start Stetson Bennett week one. Matthew Stafford reportedly isn't throwing for the Rams, and I didn't even know this, but I heard it on a podcast. Shout out PFF, but I heard it on a podcast that Matthew Stafford isn't even throwing. So my thing with the Stetson Bennett thing is, even if Matthew Stafford does, and we obviously have heard Matthew Stafford, he has elbow issues, he has arm issues. That's what kept him out a good part of last year, is because he just had too many injuries with his arm. And with older quarterbacks, you start to see that them having arm fatigue. So, and that's what kept Matthew Stafford out. They kind of shut him down after their season was going nowhere. But the thing with him is, even if he does start throwing around training camp, he's the kind of player, Matthew Stafford, that I don't think he's going to be completely back to normal. I don't think he's going to have another, I think this could, either he retires, which I don't think he does this year. I don't really think Matthew Stafford does, but either he retires Matthew Stafford or he plays one more season. The thing is there is no way he is going to play one more season and be healthy that whole season with that elbow. Because the thing is elbow soreness is a really hard thing to get rid of. And once you have it, it's really hard in the NFL to actually get rid of that. So I highly doubt Matthew Stafford fixes that elbow soreness. So even if Stetson Bennett doesn't start day one, there is definitely going to be a chance that he starts middle of the season, week 5, week 6, week 7. And if that is the case, it's going to give him a lot of experience, a lot of just game ready film. And here's the interesting thing with me is, if I would have told you guys, so we obviously have Bryce Young, we have CJ Stroud. They're going to probably start week one. We also probably, I would say, possibly Will Levis starts week one, but that's about it. So there's like 2 or 3 quarterbacks. Maybe Anthony Richardson starts week one, although I do think that they give the first few weeks at least, I think that they give Gardner Minshew a little bit of a chance. So there's going to be like 2 or 3 quarterbacks coming out of the draft, or 2 or 3 top quarterbacks coming out of the draft that will be starting week one. But if you would have told me come draft day, or the same on draft day, Stetson Bennett is going to be one of the 4 quarterbacks or 3 quarterbacks that will start week 1, I would have said you're crazy. But now that I think about it more, it might be very possible that Stetson Bennett starts week 1 for the Rams, a 5th round pick starting week 1. It's crazy. So the thing with him that, some of my strengths, and I'll get into them with him, is he does have mobility for a quarterback his size. He's 5'11", has a little bit of mobility. And the nice thing with him is I watched him especially against Ohio State. And Ohio State, he had one of his lowest PFF grades, 65.8. But what was impressive in that game was he was able to go through his reads, and then because a lot of quarterbacks, when they get under pressure, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll tuck their head down and scramble out and try to make a play or run. A lot of times quarterback gets tunnel vision, and then once he gets under pressure, he just runs. That's different with Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett, he'll go through all of his progressions. He'll scramble out. He'll still be looking downfield, and then he'll deliver a dart. So that's like when I watch Stetson Bennett's film, that's one thing impressive about him is he doesn't have tunnel vision when he gets under pressure. And again, over his college career, he had last season, he had a 76.3 completion rate, which is, wow. Or it was either 68% or 76, somewhere around that range. It was the high 60s to early 70s. That was his completion percentage, which is crazy. Now, he did have a lot of talent at Georgia, but I mean, that in and of itself means that he's no scrub. He can stand in the pocket, deliver throws. Now, one of the things that and he actually has a decent arm. Like, there were a few throws that I saw in a few of his games where he throws sidearms and delivers a dart over the middle. Perfect accuracy. So something like that, I think, is very impressive on Stetson Bennett's part. But one thing that isn't, that kind of is concerning to me is his off. Like, he doesn't have a bad arm. He can throw downfield. He takes shots downfield, but he also doesn't have like an elite tier arm. His off-platform throws when he gets under pressure are terrible. Against Ohio State, there was a play where I think it was his first interception. He throws it. I mean, this team gave him a lot of trouble, but against Ohio State especially, his first interception, he gets under pressure, tries to throw it on his back foot, and it was terrible accuracy and he throws it right to an Ohio State defender. So this guy, in a way, obviously he's 5'11", he has 10-inch hands, so he's in the 70th percentile for his hands, so doesn't have small hands, but the 5'11" really is concerning there. That's in the 2nd percentile. We all know that short quarterbacks don't usually succeed. He does have the mobility, but he kind of reminds me a little bit of Brock Purdy. Doesn't have a great arm, doesn't have an elite tier arm, but played a play action. Because a lot of what I saw with Stetson Bennett is this guy played play action a lot in college, actually. Like, they would put him under center and he would roll out and stuff like that. And that's a lot of times what the Rams do in their system as well. So, scheme fit, check. He played under center. He plays the rollout offense where he'll play under center, he'll fake the handoff, he'll bootleg out, and then he'll chuck it to a tight end. He plays that type of system that the Rams want to run. But his height is a concern. And he played at a big school with a lot of talent. That's always going to be the knock on him, which is true. He had 27 TDs, 7 interceptions last year. So pretty good. Not great. 7 interceptions, so not elite. But another concern with him is because of his height, a lot of times, especially against Ohio State, I saw him get passes batted down. I watched the first half, and he already had like 3 passes batted down. So height's going to be a problem with him. And there's nothing you can really do about that. But he is a good scrambler. He has a decent arm, and he goes through his progressions really well. I don't know what his cognitive test was, but I'm assuming it was very good because this guy, if there's anything impressive about him, it is the way he just goes through his progressions, doesn't panic under pressure, rolls out, doesn't panic, delivers darts over the middle. But his overall talent isn't great. So that's really what I got from seeing Stetson Bennett. But yes, he could start week 1. I absolutely totally believe that. You guys should believe that too, because again, Matthew Stafford going on his last legs. We really don't know what's going to happen with him. If you're the Rams, it might be tempting to just kind of blow everything up and say, Stetson Bennett, here are the reins. I mean, they really don't. I don't even think they have another quarterback on the depth chart except for Matthew Stafford and Stetson Bennett. So this guy could get a lot of learning experience. Pro comp is definitely Brock Purdy, but I don't know if he's going to turn out like that. He's going to have his bumps and bruises. But Stetson Bennett, everyone, that is a guy that I believe will probably start week 1 for the Rams. Round 4 pick. So, guys, go check out all my other videos. Go subscribe to the Camper Report on YouTube. We'll see you guys again later.